Well, um, it is Saturday, June 11th, 2022, for whatever it means, for whatever it's worth. Um, it's kind of in the evening. The sun hasn't gone down yet, but it is cloudy. Um, Yesterday I went for a 99.99 run. It was kind of a slower 99.99 than the previous two that I did in the last 2 weeks. But still, it's 100 minutes. That's a long time for me. Um, so I still think I did about 10 miles, and which is just beyond my even barest expectations or thoughts or combobulations when I began running again last March of 2021. That was just I didn't think physically I'd be able to take it up again. And there were definitely some setbacks and concerns about if my body would be okay with it. Different muscle groups were complaining, and joints, and different pains, and different. And I was like, okay, well, I don't remember that being like that before, but it's like establishing a new normal, a new baseline, and letting it be, and then figuring it out, and paying attention to what aches and pains, and it's like I've not only healed from with proper rest, um, just just these little minor injuries without causing myself additional on top of it. So anyway, so I was happy with the run yesterday, and I'm glad to have done it yesterday when it was nicer. It was pretty mild, and today it was actually a little bit chilly and rainy, but today would have worked fine too. So, and I'm taking about 3 days off when I do a long run, only about 2 days off, like every other day when I'm doing a moderate run of only like 45 minutes. So, and I'm still not sure about the new shoes. I'm still reserved, because I feel comfortable and safe in my Sauconys, because I know my stride and my gait and my posture and my form. But these, I'm not sure yet. And I also found that I had a different stress that was occurring. And it's like, okay, I didn't know about that. It took 2 days. And it's like, okay, what's that? That's new. And it's because I think my gait was, and my stride was slightly altered, just by the way my foot was being compelled to interact with the ground. So anyway, so it's not the shoe's fault. The shoe's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. But uh, a lot of my running is designed around Sauconys. So anyway, I'm not that adaptive to where so. But I did have a phone call early this morning. That's my other thing to talk about. The call came in just after midnight, and I hadn't even woken up yet, and to go to work, because I go to work really early. But it was my mom, and she left a voicemail, very short, and I was getting ready, and I listened to it, and it was like, "Hi, I just got a strange call," and they didn't stay on the line, and I thought I heard, "Hey, Mom," and then they hung up. And so she called me, and she seemed distressed in her voicemail, which was only like 10 seconds. And I called her back to let her know that it wasn't me. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just getting ready to go to work. And I questioned. I was like, "Were you sleeping?" Maybe it was and she insisted that she was awake, and she was up getting something to eat or something. And But she'll hear. She doesn't have the best hearing, so it's like, even if it was a real phone call, what she actually heard um, versus what was possibly on the other end, it's hard to say. You know, Friday night after midnight, it could have been anybody about anything, and they could have, mumbled any sort of, and she would have interpreted it to be whatever she wanted to, bias, cognitive bias, or an auditory hallucination, one or the other. Or she really could have just been sleeping and then thought she was awake. It's hard to say. She's not in the best health. And let's see, what else? Not much is going on. Sad to say, sorry to say, it's real to say. Not too much to smile about, not too much to frown about. Life just goes on. I'd like to say that there's something interesting going on, something of note, but nothing that I know of. It's kind of sad. It's like I'd like to have something to look forward to every day, but I only have what it is that I do, and I look forward to doing that, so maybe that's okay. And I was accused of being happy the other day, and that bothered me. My contentedness and self-satisfaction with very little, and just being okay with what I've got without actually, I feel like I should be, but that's where I might be getting it wrong, where I'm striving for things that I think I should be striving for, things that I should want, because I see that that's what everybody else, or apparently what I think they've got. And so I figured, well, I should be wanting that too. I should be doing that too, because they, and it's like, I don't know, maybe the reason why I kind of am is because I don't have those things or something. I don't know. And it seems like I'm doing okay. It seems like, but I insist that there's something wrong. But maybe there isn't. And so it's like, this relationship that I am and have been entertaining, if that's the word I want to use, participating in, contributing towards, at my own risk, at their risk too, because I don't understand it, and I don't like things that I don't understand, and I'm guessing at, and I don't like that I have to guess at things, and I don't have the ability to ask questions, because I'm playing off their sensitivities and considerations. So I'm, if they don't want to interact, far be it for me. So it's like, and it's like, I'm here. I am as available as a person probably could get. And if they are, and I think they know that, and if they don't know that, well, I can't help them much more. As far as myself being available and attentive, So it leaves me with a feeling of like, I'm not really, they like me, but not, So, at my own risk, at my own peril of what I am willing to afford. As long as I'm not doing myself any harm, there is no harm. And then as long as I'm not causing anybody else any harm as well. Whereas that gets tricky. So a lot of times it's like, well, I should probably stop or pay less attention. Because I get confused by what's going on. And it's like, I fall back on, well, it has nothing to do with me. It's not for me. It's not about me. I have no idea what the context is or the frame of reference. And since I don't know, and since I'm not informed or involved in any aspect of their life, then it's not much of a it's not much of a relationship. It's like if it is a relationship, it's not a good relationship. It's not a very healthy relationship. It is what it is, and it's like I can walk away at any time. They've gotten out of me everything pretty much is to get out of me. There's just more of it, but they've heard my stories. At least I've written them for them, and they've gotten them piecemeal. I mean, there's always more, of course, but they've gotten the basics and of what it is I am as a person and how it is I am as a person. And like I say, I know they like me, but also they are, yeah, you keep doing what you're doing over there. And as long as and don't try to, stay over there. And don't, So that's the impression that I get. I could be completely wrong about everything, because I always leave room for error, which there is a lot of error in my pattern seeking and judgment and thought process. And, I ask for reality checks and I don't get them. I ask questions and I don't get answers. It's like speaking, it's like this, it's like so it's no one's fault. There's no one to blame. I mean, if it's just not a situation that is wanted to be investigated, then it's like I can investigate all I want. I can pursue all I want. But if the other person does not want to be pursued and does not want to be investigated, and they like me, but they just kind of want to place me someplace, and it's like, yeah, there's this person that does this thing, and I talk to him this way, and then he behaves. So it's like, yeah, fine. But if that's as far as it's going, then it's like, like I said, it is a relationship, of whether is it what I'm looking. I mean, it could be considered a good relationship because it's, or it could be considered a healthy relationship because there's boundaries being respected, acknowledged, and sensitivities, and but it's not what I'm looking for. That's where it's not technically good for me, because it's not what I'm looking for. I mean, there are aspects of what it is I'm looking for, but it's not like there's a future. So it's like I'm looking for something that, like, there seems to be some semblance of some possibility or potential something. Otherwise, it's like, well, I mean, they seem resolved to die in the ocean. So, okay. Have fun? Well, that's one way to do things, I suppose. Yeah. So anyway, it's like I have my own life to live, and a life worth living. That's what I'm shooting for. These are the goals: is having a life worth having, a life worth living, and a life worth sharing. And right now, I'm just by myself, and I'm kind of, I have a life of my own understanding. It might not be the best life or a life of anybody else's understanding or approval or validation or whatever, but it doesn't matter. And I feel I have a life worth living because I keep going about it and trying to work on things, figure things out as I go, question this, question that, but not beat myself up too much about it. But a life worth sharing. This is what we're doing right now. This is me sharing where I'm at, what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, frustrations and venting, stress. And I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. That's, maybe I'm just getting better at it. And it leads me back to like a thought I had when I was walking in the door after work was like, yeah, if I'm so bothered by all this sort of things that, it's like, shouldn't I be used to it by now? Shouldn't I be good at it by now? The answer is no. It's like having a pain. It's like, yeah, I just acknowledge, yeah, it still hurts. It doesn't mean I'm used to it or I like it. So, and then just failing, or the sense of the perception of failing. It's like, yeah, I just keep trying, and yeah, I keep running up against the same miscommunications, misinterpretations, and lack of information and understanding against all, interactions with other people, you know. So it's like, it's just a matter of time before I just, it's like, well, that one took a while for me to give up on them. And it's like, and some people, I give up on faster than others. Like some people I don't even try to get to know. It's like, okay, well, a day, and okay, there's a week, and there's a month, and there's 6 months. And this recent one, it's like, we're approaching 2 years. And it's like, okay, we're not going anywhere, and it doesn't seem like to be any advancing the plot. And it's just kind of a, yeah, like I'm in the relationship, and it's just me that knows about it. But like I said, and all along the premise was, I am in an emotional, affectionate, intellectual relationship. And I don't know what they're in, or who they're in, whatever, or what they want, because they don't elaborate. They don't elucidate. They're dreaming, but they're not in the same dream as me. Que lástima. So, I like them a lot. I still do. That doesn't change. But it's just a matter of like, am I just spinning my wheels? Accelerating in place, burning myself out, and just frustrating myself to no end with no one even knowing, no one paying attention, and just, whereas I could be doing something different. And maybe this is an exercise. This is something I need to do to be prepared for something else that happens later. Intellectual conundrum, or, practice. Maybe this is just practice. Because I'm finding out what it is I can put up with, or what it is I can tolerate, and what it is that I'm looking for. And it's like every single time I meet somebody of interest, it's like, and even with this person, yeah, there's stuff that I really, really like, but then there's things that I don't like. But I figured that's with everybody. There's no one that I'm going to meet that are stuff that I don't, it's like, so, and I'm not the person that they're looking for either. I'm not nearly as this, or nearly as that. I am who I am. And it's like I have my skills and my traits and my abilities. And I don't know what theirs are. I know what some of them are. I can read those. But there is too much hidden. And it's mystery and a mixture of crypticism, mysticism, and stoicism. And they aren't talking. I don't know if they're talking to anybody. They might be talking to somebody new, somebody I don't know about. They could have, who knows? And I don't believe it's any of my business, any of my concern, because it's not being let to be my concern. And yeah, so I'm being kind, I'm being polite, I'm being courteous, I'm being diplomatic. And I think because I'm just reflecting in a mirror what it is I see. And I know they care to a point. And and it's like I don't believe that they're waiting for me to do anything or say anything. And if they are, well, they're going to be waiting a long time because I've said everything that I know how to say up to this point. And I've done everything that I know how to do. And I've done things that I shouldn't be doing in my book. I've done things that I don't know how to do, but I've done them anyway. Possibly to my own detriment, own fault, risk, harm. And I don't even know it yet. And so the best thing I can do is respect them and leave them alone. That's kind of what I'm like debating. It's like, just leave them alone, let them go, do, be, whatever, however they want to spend the rest of their time. And I'll do the same. Live the best I know how. So it's not like, so it's like a mutual, separation, mutual acknowledgement of like, well, this, if not wanted, if not worked towards, if there is no cooperation, no collaboration, no communication, no conversation, no cooperation, I think I said that one twice, then I don't know. Especially if I'm not aware of it. Or if it's just, I just feel like whatever it is I've got, it's like, well, yeah, it's pretty much my version of what they, how they interact with everybody else. They, talk to them on their level, based on what they think of them as a person and how they feel. So it's like, I get my version of them, and this person gets their version of them, and this one gets their version of them. So she has a basic understanding of how each person thinks and operates in their language and semantics and syntax, and then plays to that, which is what I do too. I interact with the world based on how I perceive it, and it's like, okay, this is the person I talk to this way. This is the person I talk to this way. This is the person I talk to this way. I can talk to this person about this sort of stuff. I can talk to this person about this sort of stuff. And so it's like I have everybody kind of cubbyholed as far as like what I think of them and how I view them as a person, which might be totally off. But how they present themselves, that's my read. So I don't want to cause an argument or cause offense. So I interact with them based on how it is I think they are as a person, which is exactly what she's doing. So I recognize that and respect it. I mean, it doesn't mean I like who it is that they think I am or who I perceive them to how I think they think I am. And they probably are not anything resembling close to who I think that they are. And they probably do not like who they think that I think they are. So, but there doesn't seem to be that communication to settle or decipher the differences. So we haven't been properly introduced. That's the problem. That's one of the problems. That's one of the issues for me. So anyway, I didn't mean to take this much time. So I guess I should probably be going. And before I go, just a little because I haven't. And this other part of this video, I guess, was to, you know, just be seen and just to be present. You know, the production values on these videos is just startlingly the same as how they've always been, just no frills, just me sitting in front of a camera in this room, the room. Hopefully my acting is a little bit better than that movie. Was it Tommy Widow, Lasso, which I've never actually seen, but and I don't want to see. Just because something is notorious for being bad does not mean that it's worth watching. I enjoy some cheesy movies, but there's only so much I can put up with. And watching Troll 2 was, which I probably would watch again, but that's about the height of it. But yeah, so, but this is how this is going. It's getting long, but that's what it does. And it's getting long enough to the point where it's like I'm starting to have trouble tying it back. And then also while running as well, it's becoming difficult. But this is approaching the third year. It'll be 3 years in September or something like that. And then just like this is also, I'm currently in my 6th year of sobriety. You know, 6 years since I had a drink of alcohol. You know, oh boy. That's a whole different thing. And this video is already long, but I'm still happy about that. Same with quitting smoking. I'm approaching 3 years on quitting smoking. It'll be 3 years quit smoking on September 28th. And it'll be 6 years quit drinking, depending on which date I use, either July 4th or August 5th. August 5th, technically, because that's the one I've used, because that's the one I chose at the very beginning. So my own personal tradition is August 5th. So anyway, this is going to take a while to upload, so I better get it started. So, have a good night. See y'all next time.